My name is Viola Quaye, and I'm going to do your goal setting workshop this morning. Okay. We're just going to talk briefly. If you have the handouts, I did put them on your seats. There's PowerPoint presentation on your seats about goal setting. Okay. Some of the things about goal setting, and some of the most important things that I want you to remember is that, one, you have to dream. Two, you have to have some values and have to understand what your values are. You have priorities and what those are. And we're going to talk about motivation. What motivates you and what moves you into actually setting the goals, and not only setting them, but completing them. Okay? And finally, we'll talk about smacking it. So, everybody, no, not that smack it, the other smack it. But we'll talk about how we smack our goals and get to our completion dates. Okay? So it's really important that we look at all of those things. The first thing I want to talk to you about is dreams, okay? Have anyone sat down and thought to themselves, what do I dream about? What do I really think life would be like? Or what do I really, really want? Okay, how many of you have said, this is what I really, 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 really want? And you know what those things are, okay? That is the number one part of goal setting, okay? You have to have a dream. Excuse me. You have to have a dream of what, okay, we'll give them a couple of minutes to come in because there's a few more people coming in. If you see a PowerPoint next to your seat, you can pass it back if you're not using them. You can just pass them back to the group that just came in. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so the first thing we know is that we have to dream. We have to know what we really, really, really want, okay? In order to set your goals, you have to have a dream. You have to have a vision or a thought for what life would look like, or what you envision life would be like once you complete your ultimate goals. What do you have in mind? What are you seeing down the road? Are you seeing like a comfortable home? Are you seeing a nice job? Are you seeing more opportunities on your own job? What are you looking at down the road? Am I looking at a nice vehicle? What is it that I see that I can look back and say, this is what my dream is? Is it being able to provide, quality education for my family? What am I saying is going to be my ultimate dream or my goals? Okay, and what do you need in order to make it happen? Okay, some of you walked in the door and you said, I need an education. I need an education in order to make my dreams happen. What do you need right now that you can say, in order to make this dream a reality, these are the things that I need? You have to pinpoint exactly what you need in order to make your goals a reality. Once you do that, once you say, what is it? Then you have to say, do I need dollars? Do I need somebody to invest in something? What vehicle? If I ask you to go across the street, you have to really say, what vehicle would I use to get to where I need to be? Okay? Am I going to walk across the street? Am I going to drive across the street? What vehicle? Am I going to use a bike? What mode of transportation am I going to use? The same thing should happen to all of your goals. You have to have a vehicle. You have to be able to say, not only am I setting a goal, but how am I going to get there? Okay? Now that we have the vehicle or the means in which, what do you have to do? What do you need in order to get from where you're going? Okay, what do I need? What do I really, really need? Okay, and are there some barriers? What type of barriers? Is there a language barrier? Is there an academic barrier? What is it that is set up that's standing between me? Is there a relationship that's in the way that's saying, that's not helpful to me, that's not very supportive to me? What is it that's going on that's a barrier to what I need to get to? If I set a goal and I say, yeah, I want to get this goal, but I don't have all of the tools or the resources to make this happen. So what is it? Is it self-esteem? Is it fear? What is it? What's stopping you from presenting or doing what you want to do in your life? And then you have to say, who or what can help me? Okay? Who can help me to realize this dream? Can I go to someplace on counseling? Can I go to tutoring if I'm, not doing very well in math and science, but I'm determined that I'm going to be a nurse, or I'm determined that I'm going to be a business major and I'm going to get my, what is it that I need that's going to help me, and who and what can help me, what resources are out there to make sure that I can reach my goal, because I'm going to do this. The question is, what do I need, or what can I get to make sure that I'm going to reach it? Okay, so you always have to look at that. What campus resources are out here? I can go to the counseling center, I can go to the tutoring lab, I can go to the computer lab. What resources are out there, or who is out there that can help me to reach my ultimate goals? Goals are set based on values. If you go to the next section, goals are set based on your values, okay? What we believe is how we set our goals. Our belief systems, however, are inherited, okay? So we already have certain belief systems. They can be inherited from your family, okay? Say, for example, your educational values. If your family doesn't value education, you didn't grow up with the value of education, you may not have the same values on it. So now you have to say, how do I get that value? How do I get that back? Because it really wasn't something that was valued. If I said I didn't want to go to school, my mom said, oh, okay. And it's like, oh, okay, well then I don't need to go to school, I'll just sit here. Oh, okay. You know, and if you don't have that, then that could be a problem. What is it that you value, and where does it come from? Some of it was inherited from your family, okay? Other things that you value, or your belief systems, might have come from culture, okay? Those things are going to be tied into your goals, or what you want to do, because culturally speaking, you're not going to step outside of what you culturally know to start doing things. So now you have to say, what's within my culture, what's not within my culture, and where am I going to be? So your belief system, or your values, are shaping your goals. What you have to do is make sure that they don't hinder your goals, okay? A lot of times what will happen is that you say, well, I was raised to believe one way, okay? But now I'm here and someone's telling me about something else, okay? And now you're sitting there saying, oh, wow. You start to develop your own values, your own beliefs, and now they're moving your goals. You have to be able to say, what is it that I believe? And not only that, but what is shaping these beliefs? Some of them are at home, some of them are day to day, but some of them are also like stuff that you picked up along the way, okay? So you have to figure out where it is. How is it influencing your religion? How does your religion tie into your own goals and things that you want to do in life, and how they reflect, okay? Also your ethnicity, okay? So all of those things tie in. Have you ever been in a situation where you've said to yourself over and over again, I want to do this, but girls don't do that in my family? That value is tying you away from your goals, and you have to say, how do I get past that? Because it's not necessarily that girls don't do it in society, but how does it reflect what's going on in my own life, and in my family, and in my family's values, and how do I tie that in, or do I go outside of that? Okay, so they do tie in together, and then they can be shaped by personal experiences, both positive and negative. Sometimes you have a positive experience and it drives you. You get a good grade on the test and then you realize, oh, I can do this. You know, you walk in the door and people say, you really want to get an education? Girl, you're not ready. You don't know nothing about education. You barely got out of high school. What you doing here now? And you're sitting there like, man, I guess they're right. Wow, yeah, you know, look at my, what, 69, I barely made, how am I going to go get an education? And then you get that first positive grade on that test and you're like, oh, I can do this. I can do this. I had this all along. I just didn't realize it. It was that positive experience that actually moved you and said, I can reach all my other goals. Then there's some negative experiences that can also pull you down, right? There's some negative experiences that really sort of like hinder you from moving forward. Have you ever been in a situation where it's like every time you turn a corner, you know, something negative happens to you and you're like, I'm not supposed to be here, because It's like the bottom fell out as soon as I walked in the door, okay? Everybody's sick at home. My children are going crazy. They're running circles around me. I don't know whether maybe I need to stop. No, just because you're in a negative situation, don't let it tear down or set what you're going to do. Those experiences can say, okay, maybe this is driving me. Whatever doesn't kill me will make me stronger. So I have to keep moving. I have to think of it from a perspective of, yes, it might be a negative thing, but if I can overcome it, I can overcome the next hurdle and the next one and the next one. So try to look at it as so, yes, there might be some negative impacts, but how do you turn it into something positive? Okay? Our priorities are the number one thing about our goals, okay? Priorities is something that is important at the moment. When you have a goal, and you say to yourself, I have this goal, I have this thought of what I'm going to do with my life, and then you say, what are your priorities? Priorities is something that's important at the time. Your priorities can change weekly, hourly, or daily. I'm going to get an education. That's my goal. However, my friend just passed by and they want to match up. Well, it's been a while. All right. I really don't need to go to that class. I think I'm good. So you go with them. You match up. You don't get anything done that day. Now you're in a situation. Your priorities just changed. Because your priorities was to get an education. But now you're high. You haven't done any of your homework. You haven't studied. And you're singing the Because I Got High song. I was going to go to class, but I was high. And it's like, so now you're back in this situation and you're trying to figure out what just happened to me. My priorities now changed. You say, oh, I'm going to do this, but now I'm going to the mall. Your priorities just changed. You have to really say, what are my priorities? And if my priorities don't reflect my actions, then something's wrong. Actions always reflect priorities. You can't say my dog died, my cat ran away, and that's why I'm sitting here. If your dog died and your cat ran away, you got more time. Because now you don't have to walk the dog or take care of the cat or the litter box. So you have to really sit down and think about what my priorities are and how I'm actually getting them done. What was most important to me? What are my goals? Okay? So always think about them and look at them and say, are my actions reflecting my priorities? If I said I'm getting an education and I never open up a book, are my actions reflecting my priorities? If I say I'm getting an education and I don't even show up to class with a notebook, are my actions reflecting my priorities? Okay, so I have to be very careful about what I say I'm going to do and what I'm actually doing. Okay? If I'm sitting there saying I'm going to be a nurse and I hate science, are my actions really reflecting my priorities? Maybe it's time to start looking at another career option or another goals. Okay? So always keep those things in mind. You have to have a level of motivation. Okay? You have to, anytime you set a goal, there needs to be a level of motivation. What's motivating you? What's driving you? One, resist the temptation to give up. Whatever it is, hurdle, jump over it, okay? Resist the temptation to give up. It's so easy to say, man, I can't do this, okay? It's the ones that keep going. Keep your momentum going, okay? Positive self-talk. Talk to yourself. I can do this. Don't go, oh man, I'm going to fail this test, man. It's bad. I just don't know what. That's not helping you. Think positive. I studied for this test. I know I'm ready for it. I got to get in here and get this done. And then when I get this done, I'm going to get this done, and I'm going to get this done, and I'm going to get this done, because I got to get this. I will be at graduation. I will wear the gold. I will be able to achieve everything that I said I'm going to do, because that's my goals. That's what I want. You have to positively tell yourself every day, this is what I want. Let me keep that in mind. Let me keep that in front of me, okay? And remind yourself that your goals to keep on track. Don't let anything veer you off your goals. Always keep on track of your goals. What is it that I want, and how am I keeping on track? This is one of the things that I want you to do. Eliminate negative influences. Yes, they must go. Whatever it is that's a negative influence in your life must go. Okay, you gotta do. I understand that. Everybody needs a do, but there's time when you can suck face and there's other times when you can't. When you have to say, I'm sorry, I gotta go. I love kissing, but I gotta go. Because I gotta get an education. There's some times when, yes, you really want to be up in her face, but at the same time, you have to say, I'm sorry, I have an education to get. I have things that I want to do in my life, and you should understand that, okay? Lack of focus and toxic people will always tear you away from your goal, okay? Toxic people are people that always want to tear you down. Are you sure you need to get an education? Oh, you think you all that. You got them little $5 words. Now you want to come up in here talking all that stuff. You wasn't talking that. Yes, I am. Yes, I'm using my $5 words. Yes, I'm trying to get an education. Yes, I'm trying to improve myself. And by the way, you want me to help you fill out that application for school too? Try to find a way where those toxic people can either turn it around, or sometimes you even have to say, I'm sorry, but it's not lining up with my goals. Maybe they're not lining up with your goals. So you have to figure out how you tie it in. But remember, toxic people, and then most importantly, lack of self-assessment. Look at yourself and say where you are. Be honest with yourself. Always look back at what you said you were going to do and really, really evaluate it. If you're getting all F's on your papers, on your exams and things of that nature, you're not doing what you said you came to do. Okay? Something's wrong. So that lack of self-assessment of your progress. Where am I at? Where should I be? And what happened? And it could happen this semester, it could happen 2 semesters from now. What you have to do is always think to yourself, am I reaching my goals? Am I staying focused? Am I staying on task? And I'm always looking ahead to say, are my actions reflecting my priorities? What did I say I was going to do? Am I on that road? Okay? And look at what you're doing to determine your priorities towards your goals. Look at them and constantly ask that question. How do we set our goals? Set goals. Goals can be short-term and long-term. What's a short-term goal? Anybody? Yes. I can't hear you over no. Passing a class, that's a short-term goal, okay? I just want to pass this semester. What other short-term goals could it be? That's a definite short-term goal. And that's one that's daily, right? You can set that every day. I want to show up for class every day. That's my short-term goal. What are your other short-term goals?
Be on time.
Be on time, okay? Short-term goals could be weekly. They could be daily. It could be something to make sure that you're looking at everything that you're doing on a regular basis. You should always have short-term goals. You should also look at long-term goals, because short-term goals should fall into your long-term goals. They should lead back to. This is my short-term goal, but it's to reach my long-term goal. So if I have these short-term goals, I'm only reaching for my long-term goals in the process. So what is a long-term goal? What would you say a long-term goal would be? Graduation. Definitely a long-term goal. What are some other long-term goals? Ed, what'd you say? Getting a job, especially in your field, right? You want to get a job in your field, right? So those are long-term goals. So there's a lot of different things that you can do. You should always have short-term and long-term goals, okay? They should be written down. How many of you have written your goals? You can see them. You can tape them to the refrigerator. Tape them to your significant other. Tape them, okay, never mind. You always want to have your goals right there in front of you, and you want to have them written out. And you want to have them written out because as you go through, you can check them off. There's so much satisfaction in a check. You know how you get that check? Like, yeah. it just feels good on the inside to know I've accomplished yet another one. I'm moving forward, and I know exactly what I want to do. So you want to definitely have them written down, and you want to check them off as soon as you complete them. It should be revised regularly. Don't just say, oh, I have my goals, they're all done, all right. No one stops growing. No one stops learning. No one stops moving towards the next goal. You always want something else to achieve. You always want to look forward down the road. Anyone, even professionals, will tell you, I still have a goal. I still have a long-term goal. I still want to achieve something in my life. I still want to be able to have much more than this. It's, yeah, I got a job. Yeah, I got this. And yeah, I got that. But I want more. I want to be able to further my education. Maybe I got an AS degree and I want a BS degree. Maybe I got a BS and I want an MS. Maybe I got an MS and I want a PhD. I want to see how far I can go, and I will continue with that because this is where I'm at. I'll set a higher goal. Oh, that was good. I'll set another one. Okay, they don't have to be, I'm going to go from here to here. Maybe you want to take baby steps. Okay? And they are influenced by your background. What do I mean by influenced by your background? They can have both negative and positive influences based on your background and your experiences. So always keep those things in mind. I'll touch bases because it's on the end part, but I really want to mention this. If I've never seen more than a mud puddle, and someone tries to explain to me the ocean, and I've never seen more than a mud puddle, a lot of times what happens is people say, but you can have the ocean. You know, the ocean is so vast, and it's like the mud puddle. It's like, no, the ocean. Let me explain to you. The ocean, it stretches out as far as your eyes can see, and it's just so beautiful. The mud puddle, because that's what I've seen. A lot of us have a tendency to set goals based on what we've seen in our own backyards, what we see in our own lives, and what happens is that we make our goals so small because that's what we think we've seen or that we can obtain. And what we have to do is we have to now, as a part of the education, is to actually start looking past our own backyards and start looking at more things and start seeing more things. And as you do that, you open yourself up to this vast world that says you can have more. We want you to have more. There is a need, especially in our society, where you can have more. Okay, you can dream. You can decide that Erie Community College can really mean start here and go anywhere, to Harvard, to Yale, to Columbia, to wherever it is you think you want to go. You're not limited. You're basically making your own decisions, and they shouldn't be based on what your background says. Well, I'm a first-generation college student. If I could just get out of here, I'll be up. No, don't think like that. Don't dream like that. Go beyond what you think you can possibly have and achieve those types of goals. Okay? Now, lastly, I want you to smack it. Okay? It's important that not only do you look at your goals, but you smack them. I want you to be specific when you write your goals. Okay? Your goals should be so specific that you want a particular outcome. Don't get to the point where I'm looking at my goals and it's like, yeah, no, you want a particular outcome. If you say, I want an education, don't say I want an education. I want a degree in this field. Okay, be specific about the field that you're talking about you want it. Okay, I want a job in this particular area. Be specific. Don't say I want a job. You say you want a job, most people stop looking for work once they find a job. You find a job tomorrow, you're done. Because you've reached a goal, right? Do you want any job? No, you want a specific job, so you have to be specific about what you want. Make sure that it's measurable. How do I look back and make sure that I've met my goal? It has to be measurable. I need to be able to say, it's measurable. I reached it because I got an A. Because I said I wanted to get an A, and that's what I got, and that's how I measured it. I passed the course. Well, D's make degrees. So Did you really pass the course, or you just got by? You want to make sure that it's measurable, but it's something that you want, okay? And then you want to make sure it's attainable. Is it attainable? Am I going to make sure that it's achievable? Now, if you walk in here talking about, I want to be a billionaire, so freaking bad. It's like, yeah, is that attainable? Are we talking about how long is it going to take you to become a billionaire? Okay? I mean, I've had, I'm just going to marry some six-figure person and this is what I'm going to do because this is what, and it's like, really? Really? Is that what your life is going to consist of? Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be a rap star. I'm going to be a video vixen. I'm going to be in videos, yep, because I got my little, and it's like, no, there's got to be a little bit more going on, okay? Is it attainable? What is it that you're doing right now that's going to ensure that that's an achievable goal? You want to be able to achieve your goal. And finally, you want to challenge yourself. If your goal is to get a cup of water and you get up and get it, you're good. Make it something that's going to challenge you, not something you know you can get. You want to start talking about things that you don't have within your reach, but you know you have the capability of getting. Once you realize that, it's like, oh, it's in my reach. Yeah, but, and now you can go and get that. You can challenge yourself, push yourself past what you think you can get. The easy, oh, I'd like to get an A in English, but I'll settle for a D in math. No, you don't have to. Push yourself, challenge yourself to get a better grade even in math. Get a better grade in all your subjects. Challenge yourself to move a little bit past what you think is right there in your reach and go a little bit further beyond that and realize your own potential. So always, any goal that you have, smack it. And if you say, I set a goal for this, you can say, I set a goal for a car, but I want a Beamer. I set a goal for a truck, I want the Lex Bubble. I set a goal, I want to go all the way to where I think I want to be. Yes, it's good to have a goal, but I want to actually say, what's going to be on that? What do I really, really want to set? Most important, and finally, okay, your values, your priorities, what motivates you, everything is centered around what's happening in your goal setting, okay? Have you ever seen families or people who basically, there's like a generational, and it looks like a generational curse, but it's not. But basically, it seemed like there's 3 or 4 generations all living in the same project area. Don't laugh. These are my people. Don't laugh. Been there, okay? And you see from one generation to another, and that's the goal. The goal is to go and put in my application in BMHA so that I can move around the corner from mama. And that shouldn't be our goal. That shouldn't be what's happening. And that's what's really important here, is that we understand that just because we see that generation of one right after another, that doesn't have to be what we have. Just because we see a generation of one after another from one high school dropout to another, that doesn't have to be us. From one college student to another dropping out, that doesn't have to be you. You can be the one that actually sets the goal and achieves it. That's what you want to do. Yeah, we have those people that, go from one generation to another. Break the cycle. Be the one to say, I'm getting out and I'm going to break the cycle because I have goals, I have a vision, I have things that I want to do. I'm going to dream big and I'm going to move forward. Thank you.